Welcome to another episode of the Reboot Chronicles, a no-holds-barred forum with global leaders, authors, entrepreneurs, and CEOs about how organizations stay focused on growth and innovation in unprecedented times. I'm your host, Dean DeBias, coming to you live from Reviv's North American headquarters in Chicago, and we would like to thank you for joining us from around the globe today. I'd like to welcome Milind Pant, the CEO of Amway, one of America's top private companies. With over $8 billion in revenue, Milind leads a team of 15,000 employees, offering hundreds of health, beauty, and wellness products sold in over 100 countries through what they call 1 million entrepreneurs, which is fascinating history there. We'll talk about. Well, Amway is, it's a great American business story. It's just amazing what the founding families have built over the last 60 years, of course, in partnership with, millions of entrepreneurs who I'm told are mostly women. And, I've actually been there. I've experienced your corporate culture and your headquarters. It is amazing. And full disclosure to the audience, I used to be on one of Amway's advisory boards and really enjoyed it a lot. But back to you. You're the first non-family CEO that's come into this company, which is always a big deal, especially in one this large. So everybody's kind of curious, how was that shift for you? And have you rebooted a lot of things? What are we now, 2 years in?
We're 2 years in, Dean, and it's a great to be speaking with you. You're a guru, and among everything, you also know Amway and you know our culture and our values. So
I do. Full disclosure, I am a big fan.
nice. It's a fascinating 2 years in my role. And quite frankly, when I joined, I was explicit to the board, to the co-chair, Steve and Doug, and to my management team that I'm going to spend the first 100 days to listen and learn.
I love
and
that
that's
phase.
what I did.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I love that phase, flying around, visiting people. You discover so many things.
Exactly. And
I call it the stumbling around phase.
yeah.
It's many new CEOs. I've stepped into a lot of these roles. That's all I've done most of my life. They forget to do that. That was like probably the smartest thing did. They think you were crazy when you said that, or were they supportive?
Well, they'd already signed me on, and I think you're right. The entire 15,000 colleagues of mine and the leadership team were kind of wondering what the new person is thinking or doing. And what I did is just ask questions and listen to their answers. I needed to go deep into Amway's strengths first.
Right.
Our strengths in organic farming. We are one of the world's largest and America's largest organic farmers. It's not known. We've got
You have
farms
massive tracts of land. Yeah, we'll
massive tracts.
get into that
Washington
in a
State.
minute. I want to hear about that. Yep.
Yeah. I went to El Petecal in Mexico,
Wow.
understood seed to supplement, went to Stanford Well program to understand what the scientific base is for holistic wellness. We've had a partnership with them for almost a decade. So try to understand where was holistic wellness, sustainability, love for Mother Earth, where is all this going? The second thing I did as a part of my listen and learn is go to where the entrepreneurs are, go to the markets. This was a time when we could travel, so I visited as many markets as I could, visited China twice, which is our largest market, and listened to our entrepreneurs and build relationships with them. I still recollect, Dean, this time with Makiko-san in Kyoto. We cooked an Indian meal together.
Yeah, I
And
heard
when
about this one. Yeah.
and this is in Japan. And when she shared how she was looking at a business going forward, I said, "Oh my God, that is what it is to unleash entrepreneurship for the next generation." We put all that together, went out to Google, went down to Alibaba, the entire team, distilled everything at the end of 100 days, and shared that as a long term, actually for Amway, which is a family owned business, a medium term 10-year plan,
Yeah.
which was then shared with our 2,000 of our biggest and best entrepreneurial leaders from almost 100 countries across the world. May 2019. But that was really the start. And it's a blessing to be part of a family owned, privately held company because, as I said, 10 years is medium term. Um, we've been living the purpose before the word was coined by corporate America
by
in some.
everyone.
So
What, and
I'm truly thankful.
you're also blessed to, it's a friendly family company. I've been on some family boards that were, it was like just a few, every board meeting was like a feud. I was like the coach or the referee, it felt like. But they also, you guys have tremendous patience. And if you were a public company at 8 billion, the pressures would be so much different.
The pressure will be very different, and the journey that we are on now, which is to transform ourselves from our strengths, historical strengths of direct selling to the model of social commerce. That transformation requires, as you said, strategic determination and strategic patience. And that's why being part of a family-owned, privately held company is such a tailwind.
Well, I'll add something to that. It also takes speed, which is just the opposite, because Amway, as far as I'm concerned, you guys invented MLM, multi-level marketing. It used to be called something worse, but and now it's evolved. The traditional direct has obviously turned into social commerce, but you guys almost invented social commerce. So what do you got? What do you, discovering products through other people's eyes is what people like to say, but it's much deeper than that. The influencer marketing, but so what's your digital trajectory like? How are you shifting to that now?
Say, Dean, if I would just step back from what you said,
Yep.
at the core, Amway's idea is about inclusive entrepreneurship. That's what Rich and Jay believed in 1959, and that's why the idea is relevant and powerful and resonates with people across the world. Today, the way the idea is articulated is to be an Amway entrepreneur, you just need three things, what we call the three Ps: a passion, a passion for beauty, a passion for fitness, a passion for health, a passion for parenting, a passion for yoga, cooking, a passion, need a positive attitude,
Yep.
and need a phone. You have a phone, a passion, and a positive attitude. We will, and our leaders will provide with products, a platform, an incentive plan, training, everything for you to be as successful as you wish to be and have happy, loyal customers. Now, that is very relevant to young people today who are looking for flexibility, who are looking for freedom, but who want to follow their passion and their interest and want to do this at a pace that is right for them. We
Exactly.
are going, in that direction, building on our core ideas, but making sure we build capabilities that will set us up and set our entrepreneurs for success in the future.
I mean, you guys were basically doing the gig economy before they coined it gig, so obviously it's a great fit. And some of your, I don't know if you call them reps, but some of the entrepreneurs, they're making millions. They're making a lot of money. I used to see your top 10 list. It was like, whoa, who are these people? Just regular people. They also have a passion for money, I've noticed. Just I might add that one in there.
Ah, but you're right.
Or earning. Maybe earning is a better word. Earning your.
The earnings is great, and that's very fair. The focus, though, is on those who start off. Rich and Jay has always said the most important person is the new entrepreneur or the new Amway business owner, as we call it.
Yeah.
This lady in her early 20s in some part of the world with a sparkle in her eyes, the 15,000 of us in Amway, we wake up every morning to fight the good fight for her success. And she will be working part time, and this will be one of the many income sources that she will have, and she'll be juggling various things in her life as she goes about her Amway journey.
Let's shift to just trends that are going on out in the marketplace. Revive, the sponsor of this, has a health, beauty, wellness index that's been off the charts since over the last year and a half. Since the pandemic, it's really taken off, but it was growing before that. In other words, consumers around the world interested and buying in those categories, up anywhere from 200 to 400 to 1,000%. So, and e-commerce is way up too. So that's old news. But I'm very curious. How are you? What are some of the big bets that you were focused on in terms of health, beauty, and wellness? Where do you see yourself in 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Your midterm views, 5 to 10 years, which I love. So, whatever view you can handle today, we'd love to hear it.
Sure, Dean. And what I'll share with you with your experience of Amway, you'll probably say this is Milind going back to the future. But
Yeah,
where we are going
sometimes that
is
works.
where we are going is to be an entrepreneur-led health and wellness company.
Yeah.
Um, what we've seen with the pandemic, which is difficult and tough for societies across the world, is a realization that holistic wellness is as important, if not more important today than it was ever in the past. And how to build habits, how to build long term innate immunity is based on a couple of things. And by the way, we can go back to Indian Ayurveda, we can
Yep.
go back to Chinese traditional medicine, we can go down to all the work that Stanford is doing. The mantras to live a healthy life are very similar. They're a combination of one, a balanced, plan forward diet. Second, regular, moderate exercise. Third, sound, long sleep. Fourth, mindfulness. Fifth, having loving relationships and empathy. And sixth, a love for nature and Mother Earth.
Yeah,
These
most people
six.
leave that one out. That's a good one. They do.
But the thing is, these six have been true to Amway, true to millennials. Today, it's been true for centuries of ancient wisdom.
Yep.
But still, the paradox is we are not able to make a big change in individual habits, in families, and in society. Knowing all this is true, which gets us to the missing link,
Hmm.
which is the missing lens that one needs a community to be part of a community where people support each other, help each other out, hold each other accountable to new habits. And our entrepreneurs, our Amway business owners are the ones who can be the ones who can nurture these communities, starting with their immediate families and friends, but beyond that. So when done well and at scale, this can change, the lives of a billion people to help them live better and healthier. That's where we want to be in a couple of years of time, if not sooner.
And it sounds like that internal culture matches the external, facing stuff. How do you get this growth mindset embedded in the Amway culture? I mean, this is a company invented in the 50s. Most people don't know what the 50s means, but they'll figure it out. 60 years ago. How about that? Is that easier?
Yep, Dean. The What is valuable for us is our founders were pioneers. They love to fail. They failed in 100 different initiatives before they started Amway.
That was
Uh,
their reputation. That's why I asked you what your big bets are, because you guys have done that. They put their money where their mouth is many times.
and that is the entrepreneurial spirit that we are getting back in the organization and fusing it with Carol Dweck's principles on mindset. So what we call it internally is founders growth mindset. And all of us, starting with me, are on this journey of growth mindset. But the interesting thing is, Dean, while we were working on all this, the pandemic hit. And then all of us, starting with the CEO, was at home. But that is where the best of Amway got unleashed and the best of Amway's culture got unleashed.
Leading
And
from
I'm
home. Wow.
correct. And of course, our colleagues in manufacturing and farms and distribution centers continued every day, but everyone came around, collaborated, and did what they believe was right. And this is the reservoir of culture in Amway that has just got unleashed, and there's so much potential with it going forward.
It's interesting. You guys, the 15, or let's just call it however many are in Michigan, call it 5,000 or so, maybe more, maybe more. You had to like go home and work, almost like all your entrepreneurs do anyway. You got a taste for what their life was like. They all work at home. with a phone. That's about it,
Yeah,
right? Well, this phone costs more than their laptop, and so
yeah.
that must have been interesting to kind of get their perspectives. I saw you've done various videos to around the world and kind of approaching how different cultures, work and react. And by the way, speaking of that, I think I read or heard that about 90% of your revenue is from outside of this country, the United States, which to me spells a huge opportunity in this country. But let's just stick with the 90% that's outside. One of few family companies, maybe Molex here in Chicago, owned by the Craybills, who went hardcore in Asia and made a muster their business versus the U.S. So you're a rare company there. What do you kind of see in terms of your growth markets? I assume U.S., China, India. Most companies, that's kind of the focus. But what are you working on there?
Dean, as you said, we are truly lucky. We are lucky because the vast majority of our portfolio is in health and wellness, and the
Hmm.
vast majority of our markets and our capabilities are in the biggest, fastest growing markets in the world. So, which are the markets that are priority for us? India, China, US, along with other markets in Asia. Rather, today, between Tokyo, if we start moving east from Tokyo, from between Tokyo and Mumbai,
Yep.
it's 75% of Amway's revenues.
Wow.
Other companies would kind of kill for that.
Kill.
If we combine that with the fact that over half a portfolio is Neutralite, which grew double digit last year, we are in a very good place to help entrepreneurs across the world be even more successful in the coming years than the past.
Yep. Those of you who don't know, Nutrilite, one of their top brands, a lot of refreshing liquids, I think, in that brand family, right?
Well, Neutralite is all organic. It spans categories, but its core is vitamins and dietary supplements. If your listeners want to know more, they just need to go on www.amway.com, and it's easy and frictionless to shop as a
Yep.
customer.
How do you guys how do you deal with people like Amazon where you can get any supplement you want now? I mean, the consumers never used to have this much choice. It's crazy where you can buy stuff now. Because you were one of the supplement leaders, quite frankly, especially with your, seed to supplement kind of trajectory. You could actually audit it and tell people what it really was. How are you competing with all these other folks kind of jumping into that market?
It's a great question, and we continue to be number one in the vitamins and dietary supplements. At over $4 billion, Neutralite is the number one globally,
Yep.
and it's great for customers to have choice. It's great to have choice on products. It's great to have choice on different channels that they can use, like Amazon or Alibaba or Rakuten or Flipkart across the world.
All right.
The key thing for us is we just don't sell products. What our entrepreneurs are providing are wellness solutions. They help their communities sleep better.
And
They help their
relationships.
communities go for fitness. And that all starts first, as you said, Dean, with relationships and trust. Trust is the main currency. It's social first, commerce next, which is
Well,
completely different from the Amazon model, which is commerce first, easy, frictionless, social, that's for someone else. But if you look
trust,
at
maybe. Yeah.
yeah, but if you
It,
if you look at if you look at your question and you look at the last decade, the
mhm.
two business models that have done really well are social platforms and e-commerce companies. What Amway is working on is getting the best of both with an entrepreneur in the middle so that she can build her communities online, offline, and have the backing of an easy, frictionless shopping.
Yeah, makes sense. Not just be a influencer, but a curator of whatever. You could add all types of products and services. So I kind of can read between the lines there. I'm sure the
Ah,
viewers, if this was live today, it's not. They'd be asking lots of questions. The other thing a lot of viewers don't know is, I've had inside baseball with you, but is you guys are a tech company. You've got teams of hundreds of scientists and researchers, and 1,100 patents is probably bigger now. Vast tracts of land we already talked about. So that whole plant-based trend. I'm on one private equity group that it's called Monetary Partners, and we just invest in food companies that are really focused on seed to table, kind of, auditing that trail is becoming so popular. So just given that you've got massive tech assets, can grow your own, sounds like a pot commercial, but you can grow your own. You can authenticate things. Not everyone can
Yes.
do that in the chain. How do you see those assets in terms of innovation? How do you look at all the things you have and go, whoa, what a playground I have, and what do you do with it?
This is brilliant, and it's one of our strengths. And truly, for me, the inspiration was when I visited El Petacal in Mexico, as I was mentioning earlier, Dane.
Great
We
climate
are,
to grow.
yeah, it's a great place, and as you said, we are in some sense an agri-tech company under the hood. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we got technology that's applied in our farms if when we do it at scale. We got traceability. We are testing blockchain to get that traceability, in a way that's, transparent. We are leveraging our botanicals,
Simple,
be it
cheap, and easy, and yeah.
yeah, very easy. And we're leveraging our botanicals, be it in our farms in Wuxi in China, or our partners in India, or our farms here in Brazil, Mexico, and the US. All this is going to unleash innovation going forward, with the core of it being plant-based nutrition, one that is transparent, one that starts with taking care of Mother Earth, and one that encourage holistic diet and holistic living and wellness.
Yeah, brilliant. The the if you look at the just kind of some visionary stuff here, but then let's get back to innovation. Just like the health, beauty, wellness category. Let's just take beauty. You've dabbled in and out of it. You've got some core products. Um, do you see this whole trend around wellness and beauty, people caring more about or just as much about what they put in their body versus what they put on their face and stuff like that? So that ties into the wellness trend. But just what do you see in terms of some trends there? Plant-based is one. So green and clean has obviously been one that many of the brands have been working on. Personalization is one that we think is huge, both in terms of how you choose your products, but also making individual products for specific types of people. What are you seeing in terms of your trends?
Um, all that you said, Dana, is spot on. Rather, it's so interesting that as we speak, last month, we launched our artistry skin nutrition, which is beauty from within.
All right.
And one of the ingredients there is a patented white chia seed.
Oh,
Rather, it's called the Renberg white chia seed.
why is a
Uh,
white chia seed so important?
well, it's
Is
it's
that different?
very dense in nutrients, which are good for your skin.
Yeah,
I mean, I,
I
I
want
don't know
some.
about you. I don't know about you, but my afternoon snack is chia with some milk and yogurt. But this
I
is
usually
this.
throw I usually throw some Cheetos in there, but let's not talk about me.
So so beauty and health
Yeah.
from a consumer point of view have already merged. And I think different companies are figuring out how to play in it. The good news for Amway is that this is our lane. This is what we know how to do well. And hence, our range of skin and beauty is all based on botanicals. And it's almost like supplements for your skin, is how one may want to look at it. So that's a big one. The second big one, as you said, is personalization. And personalization can be done in various ways. We've just, acquired not acquired, we put a minority stake in a Korean company which is into gut health, because there is enough scientific evidence now on
Hmm.
connecting gut to a variety of things about our body. So we want to be, ahead in that game and understand that, so that we can develop products either ourselves or in partnership with other companies that can help with the same thing, entrepreneur-led health and wellness company.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of few diagnostics companies doing that. We just had Naveen Jain, he's a friend on from Biome, so they're more on the
yep,
testing diagnostic side, but
Brian
very
was doing a
interested.
great job.
Can you take that data and then make a supplement that's different for you than me?
In terms of technology available, yes. In terms
Scalability, though?
of scalability and commercial is what we
Yeah.
need to figure it out.
Yeah, you've got people like Amazon, buying, the pill bag company that we actually incubated something like that at never mind, confidential stuff. But that's more like, hey, we're just going to combine the vitamins that you should already be taking versus in pills versus custom. Yeah, I've anyone I talk to, it seems like it falls apart on the scaling side, but who better to deal with a problem like that than you guys?
And we are on it. I think there's a whole continuum of personalization. Uh, the way we look at it, that personalization starts with our entrepreneur, Amway business owner, deeply knowing the person who is a family member or a friend or a neighborhood or in the same apartment block, and knowing her well. What does she need? Is she a triathlete? Is she a young mother? Or is she someone who wants to figure out, just sleep better? What is her need, her life stage, her life goal? And then curate from there onwards. And one can curate at a level of personalization, taking it based on diagnostics, either gut or sweat or blood, or at some stage with 23andMe DNA diagnostics. So once
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
get to any extent, we want to make sure that it all starts with relationships and trust, and our ABO, our entrepreneur, at the center of understanding the other person. And we can back her with algorithms, and we can back her with all the technology.
Yeah, technology there, it's scalable, and what was always missing is what you said: relationships, trust, and just taking the time to actually ask questions and care, and not just through a bot, but an actual person. And that is scalable. That you've proven can be scalable. Very different from others. Kind of leads me a little bit more back into innovation. So, I work a lot with like large companies, especially with Kellogg. We call them BFSs. They're, big, fat, and slow. And that's just, there's not much you can do to change that. $1 billion companies to, $100 billion companies like a Walmart, one of the largest companies in the world. How do you kind of go about shifting people to think more agilely, to be more a co-creation kind of person, cooperating with people inside the company, outside the company? And, do you look at things like, should we build this? Should we buy it? Acquiring, should we invest, which you're doing? Should we borrow it, which is partnering, the hardest thing to do? The Dancing with Startups program, how do you bring the smallest companies on the planet together with the largest? Have you found bringing all of that into your company? How's that going culturally, I guess was the question.
Dean, the good news for all of us who work or observe or study big companies, is that there are markets that are at a different place where rubber hits the road. So the way I articulate it, if you go to Korea, the mindset there is Bali Bali,
Hmm.
fast fast. You go to China, the mindset is Kwai Kwai, fast fast. You go to India, the mindset is Jaldi Jaldi, same thing. Go to
Faster,
Latin
actually.
America
Yeah.
and and
Very
go to
eager.
Latin America or Spain is Rapido Rapido. So in the markets
Mm.
where the rubber hits the road, where our teams serve entrepreneurs and customers, the mindset is always agile and fast. The question is how to marry it with enterprise capabilities, and where those capabilities are missing, as you said, how to have alliances, acquisitions, partners, and to do it in a way in which it benefits the core business. That's something we are still figuring out, but we are very clear our mindset is Bali Bali.
I like it. So, just some final thoughts. So I want to thank you for joining us today, obviously, but you've been starting to write about passion and purpose, one of my favorite topics, though I have a very kind of avant-garde, totally opposite lecture about it that catches people off guard, but you've got your own views on it. You're writing these articles. Where can people follow you most of the time? Is LinkedIn the best place?
Dean, LinkedIn is the best place to if people would like to follow. There's this new newsletter, Passion and Purpose, um, and this word purpose for Amway.
Yeah.
Rich and Jay were our founders. Were clear that whatever we do needs to help people live better, healthier lives. And that was done before the word purpose was coined in corporate America. Personally, for me, as I was growing up, Dean, in the foothills of the Himalayas, being here was not part of my plan. I didn't even know where Western Michigan is on the map.
You didn't know there was so much flat country out there, did you?
growing up, growing up
Texas,
in
Michigan.
yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, Texas, Michigan, and we've been blessed with the opportunity we've got. And I just would encourage everyone to just keep their arms wide and look for anything that comes to them. See it from the growth mindset. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep helping people around them.
Yeah, good advice. Good advice. Well, Milind, we'd like to thank you for being on the program. You've been listening to Milind Pant, who is the CEO of Amway. And this is Dean DeBias with the Reboot Chronicles. I want to thank you for joining us. Milind, it'd be good to, next time, good to see you on campus. We'll come out and maybe do a live shoot. It'd be fun.
Love to, Dean. Love to stay engaged and love to keep learning from your experience.
Oh, that's I consider that a mutual. The reason I teach is to learn. The reason I learn is to teach. Something like that. I can't remember anymore. It's great to see you. Take care.
Good to see you too. Thank you.